Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm taking you along with me on another airport walkthrough, and this time we are in Lome, the capital city of Togo, at the Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport, also commonly known as Lome Otokoin International Airport. If you enjoy travel experiences, airport walkthroughs, destination reviews, and seeing what different airports around the world look and feel like, then you're definitely in the right place. During my recent pass through Lome, I had the opportunity to spend some time moving through this airport, and in this video, I'm going to show you what I experienced finally, from the passenger areas and immigration section to the shops, food outlets, and the general atmosphere inside the terminal. So, come along with me as we explore Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport and see what it is like to travel through one of Togo's most important international gateways. Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport is the main international airport serving Lome, Togo's largest city and capital. One of the first things you notice about the airport is its convenient location. The airport is only about 2.19 kilometers from downtown Lome, which makes it relatively close to the city center compared with many international airports around the world. The airport is named after Gnassingbé Eyadéma, who served as the third president of Togo. Today, the airport plays an important role in connecting Togo with other destinations across Africa and beyond. And one of the airlines particularly associated with this airport is ASKI Airlines, which has its hub here in Lome. For travelers moving around West Africa and connecting to other parts of the continent, Lome is therefore an important aviation hub. As I entered the airport, one of the first things that caught my attention was the size and overall appearance of the passenger sitting area. The interior passenger area is quite spacious, and during my walkthrough, I found it to be clean and reasonably well organized. There was enough seating available for passengers to wait comfortably, and the overall environment felt calm and welcoming. For me, cleanliness is one of the first things I look at whenever I pass through an airport. An airport doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest or most luxurious airport in the world to provide a good experience. Sometimes what matters most is whether the facility is clean, organized, easy to navigate, and comfortable for passengers. And from what I observed during my visit, Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport performed quite well in these areas. The passenger sitting area is quite huge, providing travelers with plenty of space to sit and wait for their flights. There are different sections where passengers can relax while waiting for boarding, and the atmosphere during my visit was relatively peaceful. If you are someone who arrives early at the airport, which is something I always recommend, having a comfortable waiting area makes a big difference. And speaking of arriving early, travelers using this airport should plan their time carefully, particularly when traveling internationally. For international passengers, immigration and baggage collection can take some time. In general, you should allow roughly 1 hour to complete immigration procedures and collect your luggage, although actual processing times can vary depending on passenger volumes and other circumstances. For domestic travel, immigration procedures are not required, so the process can be considerably quicker. One of the things I observed during my walkthrough was the professionalism of the immigration officers. The officers were dressed in clean and well-presented uniforms, and from what I could see, they were carrying out their responsibilities efficiently. Of course, airport immigration experiences can vary depending on the time of day, the number of passengers arriving, and other operational factors. But based on my experience during this particular visit, I found the immigration process to be reasonably efficient. For an international traveler, having immigration officers who are organized and professional contributes significantly to the overall airport experience. Another interesting part of my walkthrough was the collection of shops inside the airport. There were several shops offering different items for travelers, including local crafts and products that reflect aspects of Togolese culture. I always find airport shops particularly interesting because they can provide visitors with a final opportunity to purchase something representative of the country before leaving. And here in Lome, there were products that immediately reminded me that I was traveling through Togo. You could see local craft items alongside products aimed at international travelers. These kinds of shops add character to an airport because they give passengers more than just a place to wait for a flight. They provide an opportunity to experience a little bit of the local culture even while you're inside a modern transportation facility. For visitors who didn't have enough time to explore Lome extensively, picking up a locally inspired souvenir at the airport could also be a convenient way to take a small piece of Togo home. During my walkthrough, I also came across food outlets serving meals and refreshments for travelers. One thing I particularly appreciated was the availability of local food. Whenever I travel, I enjoy seeing local cuisine represented at airports because food is such an important part of understanding a destination. Good food inside the terminal is definitely a plus. The food outlets I encountered during my visit offered what appeared to be good local food, providing travelers with an opportunity to enjoy a taste of Togo without having to leave the airport. Whether you're arriving in Lome, departing from the city, or simply connecting through the airport, having food options available inside the terminal adds convenience. Of course, the range of food available can depend on the time of day and which outlets are operating, but my overall impression was positive. Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport is also an important hub for Askwai Airlines. Askwai has established Lome as its main hub, making this airport an important connecting point for passengers traveling across West and Central Africa. Other airlines operating at the airport include Ethiopian Airlines and Air Burkina, among others. For passengers connecting through Lome, this means the airport can serve as an important gateway to several destinations within the region. On average, the airport has around 8 departure flights each day, although flight schedules naturally change depending on the day and season. The airport also experienced significant passenger traffic in recent years. In 2025, the airport served more than 1 million passengers, highlighting its growing importance as an aviation gateway for Togo and the wider region. Another major development in the airport's history was the opening of a new terminal in early 2016. The new terminal was designed with the capacity to handle up to 2 million passengers annually. That additional capacity has helped position the airport to accommodate increasing passenger numbers while providing a more modern environment for travelers. And as passenger traffic continues to grow, facilities such as spacious waiting areas, immigration counters, baggage handling facilities, shops, and restaurants become increasingly important. If you're using Lome as a connecting point, especially when transferring to an international flight, make sure you give yourself enough time. I would strongly recommend allowing at least 2.5 hours for a connecting flight, particularly when the connection involves an international journey. Why? Because a connection may involve several steps. You may need to go through customs, collect your luggage, check in again for your next flight, pass through security, and then proceed to your departure gate. And even when everything appears straightforward, unexpected delays can happen. So rather than rushing through the airport, it is always better to have some extra time. This is particularly important if you are connecting from one airline to another or traveling on separate tickets. One thing I appreciated about my experience at Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport was that the terminal did not feel overwhelmingly complicated. The spacious passenger areas made it relatively comfortable to move around, and there were clear areas for passengers to sit, shop, eat, and wait for their flights. For first-time visitors to Lome, the airport provides a fairly straightforward introduction to the city. And because it is located so close to downtown, getting between the airport and central Lome can be relatively convenient. Lome itself is a fascinating destination. It is a coastal capital with a unique blend of urban life, markets, beaches, local culture, and West African hospitality. And for many international visitors, Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport will be their first physical introduction to Togo. That makes the airport more than simply a transportation facility. It is also part of the visitor experience. The cleanliness of the terminal, the professionalism of the staff, the availability of local products and food, and the general atmosphere all contribute to the first impression visitors receive when they arrive. So, what is my overall impression of Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport? Based on my recent pass through the airport, I would say that my overall impression was positive. I found the airport to be clean, spacious, and relatively comfortable, particularly the passenger sitting area. The large seating area gives passengers enough room to relax while waiting for their flights. I also like the presence of shops selling local crafts and traveler-oriented items because they added some local character to the airport. The immigration officers I encountered were professionally dressed and appeared efficient in carrying out their duties. And the availability of local food inside the terminal was another positive aspect of my experience. Is it the largest airport I visited? No. Is it one of the most luxurious airports in the world? Probably not. But I don't think an airport needs to be enormous or filled with luxury boutiques to provide travelers with a good experience. What matters is functionality, cleanliness, organization, comfort, and service. And during my walkthrough, Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport delivered a reasonably good experience in these areas. Of course, every travel experience is different. Your experience may depend on the time you arrive, how busy the airport is, whether you're traveling domestically or internationally, and whether you're departing, arriving, or simply connecting. But from what I experienced during my recent visit, I would say that the airport provides a welcoming and practical gateway into Lome. For international travelers, just remember to plan ahead and allow enough time for immigration, baggage collection, customs, and check-in, particularly when you have a connecting flight. Arriving at least 2.5 hours before a connecting international flight can give you some breathing room and reduce the stress that comes with rushing through an unfamiliar airport. And that brings us to the end of my walkthrough of Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport, also known as Lome Togo International Airport here in Lome, Togo. From its convenient location close to downtown Lome to its spacious passenger areas, local shops, food outlets, an important role as the hub of ASCII Airlines, this airport is an important part of Togo's connection to the rest of Africa and the world. My overall experience was positive, and I particularly appreciated the cleanliness of the terminal, the spacious seating area, the local products available in the shops, the professional appearance of the immigration officers, and the availability of local food. If you've traveled through Gnassingbé Eyadéma International Airport before, I'd love to hear about your experience. How was your arrival or departure? Did you find the airport easy to navigate? And what did you think about the food, shops, and passenger facilities? Let me know in the comments. And if this is your first time on the channel, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my next travel experience. I'll continue bringing you walkthroughs, airport experiences, hotels, destinations, and travel reviews from different parts of Africa and beyond. Until next time, keep traveling, keep exploring, and keep experiencing the world.
you.